Cow! All right. It is Sunday night.
We're late.
And you know what that means. Listen, I don't know if you guys are fired up, but I am fired up. Let's get into it. So here is where we are at. The Tampa Bay Lightning are your defending Stanley Cup champions. The Tampa Bay Rays are your defending American League champions. And now your Tampa Bay Buccaneers will play a home game in 2 weeks, are headed to the Super Bowl. At this rate, the Toronto Raptors might want to stay in Tampa. How about
it? Let's go, Raptors.
If you're a fan of this show,
you know
we have covered this all year long since COVID started happening in March. We're going to, of course, have plenty on the game. Some dude lived in the Chicago airport for 3 months. Blake says that the Rays handed the Dodgers the World Series.
Ooh.
What was your favorite Bernie meme?
Yes.
Right? And yes, of course, the main event will be at the Super Bowl. I don't know if our voices are going to hold up for the next 60 minutes, but you don't want to miss this show because this is the main event.
Hey, Tampa Bay, the Bucs know how to shine.
That's a great fight song. I don't know why they ever benched this song.
Man, that was from when they wore the team. Dude, I don't know you guys, but my stress level all of this, it went from absolute euphoria to absolute, I need to swallow a whole bottle of Xanax, back to euphoria. But here we are, the NFC champions.
And not one, but two guys went in the pool today. I'm just saying that pool doesn't have as much water in it as it did when they started.
No, it definitely does not. There was definitely some splashage going on for the pool. Man, that was fun. Hey, a big shout out real quick to Javi, who's been a normal guest, a regular guest with us here on the show. He hosted the main event in Gang today at his crib, and Chef Javi never, ever, ever disappoints. And look out, I think we have a little bit coming from Chef Javi here soon, don't we, Pooh Bear?
Yeah, we did. We recorded a first ever segment. So what's going to happen here soon after football season is over, we're no longer going to do live shows at 7 o'clock. We're going to do pre-recorded, essentially podcast. And part of that podcast is going to be small segments. We're going to bring on some of the folks that you're familiar with Ashley, the trainer, Javi, the chef, some of these other folks that you've come to know and love, our friends, our family, essentially. And we're going to bring them in and let them speak to their expertise. They're not people that want to do this live content regularly. They don't want to talk sports. They just kind of want to talk about their passion. And Javier's passion is definitely barbecue. He's exceptional at it. There's no doubt about it. So I went ahead and cut a small segment with him today. And it'll probably be part of the first pre-recorded show that you see maybe in February, March. We're not sure yet. But look out for it. It's coming.
Hey, before that, I feel a Super Bowl day vlog coming.
Oh.
We might want to cut that one off at noon. I don't know about that.
Why not that be?
Cornhole championship. We can show a little bit of that.
Cornhole championship.
Yeah, set it up across the pool. Last till the bags go in the water.
Here's the real deal. We have the Super Bowl in our backyard. Okay, for those of you that aren't familiar with it, we live in the Tampa Bay area. It is going to be Super Bowl 55 featuring our Buccaneers right here in Tampa. So we have an exceptional opportunity to go out and make the most of this. So we're going to go in the next couple of weeks. We're going to go take part in the NFL fan experience. We're going to talk to some of the locals that are here for the Bucs game, for the Super Bowl game. We're going to talk to either the Chiefs or the Bills fans that are in town and get their opinion of the game. There's going to be a little bit of comedy to it. There's going to be a little bit of, man on the street kind of thing. Really looking forward to this. This is going to be our essentially our January short since we didn't really get to do one. So be on the lookout for that, which leads me into why you should subscribe and hit the bell on your YouTube link right down below there. That's going to alert you every time we upload a video, which is, you're not going to want to miss this. I mean, come on.
No. So, man, you guys want to get into the game a little bit? Do you remember any of it? Do you remember any of it?
I remember most of it. I remember Tom Brady throwing 3 picks.
Wow.
Not his best conference championship game ever,
No.
I think he still threw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns.
He got the job done. And listening to Bruce Arians on the way back from Javi's house, he did mention on the radio that, those were essentially third down punts, right? So they were deep enough to be punts. They were turnovers. I think they scored off of one of those. Still, that's not a good look going into the Super Bowl, facing a team like the Chiefs or the Bills, the conference champion from the other conference. They're going to be a good team. You do not want to make mistakes like that against a great team.
Third pick was I don't even know what that was. I don't know what that was.
It had us worried. All right, let's put it that way.
Yeah. We were definitely worried. We were pacing back and forth. We were doing a little bit of praying, maybe.
I thought I was going to stay dry.
You thought you were going to stay? Oh my gosh! Hey, I need to say a little something about the defense because I think I have been the most critical of the defense, of anyone on this show. And I'm going to tell you, for the last 2 weeks for sure, that defense has showed up in a big way. Today, last week, obviously jumping routes, picking passes. Today they had pressure on Rodgers most of the game. Hey, how about Vita Bay coming back? I mean, that guy is a difference maker. Yeah,
10 weeks, and he played a lot of snaps today, and he played well. He did. Actor in the game.
Yeah, and with Vita Bay in there, with Ndamukong Suh in there, that actually shores up the middle of that defense, which allows the defensive ends, Shaq Barrett, JPP, the opportunity to kind of go free to the quarterback because the linebackers don't have to cover the middle anymore because those two guys have got it locked up. I mean, what a difference, just that one guy makes. The secondary, our starting safety was out. His replacement our second safety goes out, and these guys still stepped up. I mean, it is not easy to cover the Packers receivers, and they did a great job today.
Yeah, the Packers came out with a good game plan. They were doing exactly what is effective against the Buccaneers defense. Those short crossing routes, the short slants, a lot of play action, a lot of screens. Those are the types of plays that are effective against the Buccaneers. But the Buccaneers still were able to shut them down when they needed to, get the turnover when they needed to. The deep ball was not there. The run game up the middle was absolutely not there. Like you just alluded to, Vita Vea was all over the place when it came to run game. So that was just a tremendous defensive performance.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, it was interesting. The Bucs game plan, it looked to us early offensively, was to try to control the game through the run game. And obviously the last 2 weeks we've run the ball really well. Obviously we haven't had a chance to look at any of the stats, but I don't think we ran for 100 yards. But I will tell you that we were huge on third down today.
Yeah. There was quite a few third downs. Stops.
Another thing that we did today that we did last week very well was we spread the ball around. I mean, they had Mike Evans pretty much, taken out of the game, for the most part today. And if they're going to, double team Mike Evans, that's fine with me because there's only 11 guys on the field on defense, so they can't double team everybody. I mean, somebody's open, and we found him. Tom Brady. Well, in the first half, he found him. He found, second half, he found some of the Packers guys too. But in the first half, I mean, think of it, he saw Tyler Johnson. We saw Scotty Miller late in the game. We even saw the Gronk catch a clutch.
Cameron Brate caught touchdown.
Yeah.
Cameron Brate is great.
Yeah.
Cameron Brate, that not only did he catch a touchdown, but he had a key third down, if I'm not mistaken, there in the early fourth quarter.
Yeah. So I got to ask you guys a question. We signed Tom Brady in the offseason. We spent a good segment of a show talking about the signing of Tom Brady.
I think we did multiple shows talking about the signing of Tom Brady.
Yeah. So, but I'm going to be honest, 8 weeks in, how are you guys feeling about this team?
I mean, I'm impressed with the way the offense has turned it around. The first, 5 or 6 weeks, they were not great. They came along. They played against some bad teams, like the weeks 4 through 6, 4 through 7, the Raiders, and I think they played the Chargers, and they did what they had to do, right? But there was still not that dominating, like we thought, Brady to Evans, Brady to Godwin, Brady to Gronk. That should be all game long, 500 yards, 40-something points. I mean, we were very optimistic.
Oh, yeah, we expected them to score 40, 45 points a game.
Right. And it just wasn't happening. And then sometime around the bye week, essentially, once they got the bye week and they played, I think, the Vikings the week after, that first half against the Vikings wasn't great. But after that, this team has turned it around. Like, I don't know if it was almost like something happened. Either Brady went to Leftwich and say, all right, you're no longer calling the plays, I'm calling the plays. Or if it was, Bruce Aaron, I don't know who was calling the plays at that point, but something happened. Like the play calling seemed different. There was a lot more rolling out bootlegs, a lot more throwing short. Of course, today we saw some 3rd and 2 throwing long, which just aggravates the nuts.
Yeah.
So frustrated with that. But, it's what got him here, so you can't really complain about it too much.
So you're saying, I know the Chief hasn't chimed in yet, but you're saying you were a little suspect. We were very critical of this team. You guys are holding your tongues. We were very critical.
Look, not only was I critical of the team, I was critical of Tom Brady. If you remember, I didn't call him the GOAT. I quit calling him the GOAT. I called him the Billy Goat. And, the Billy Goat meant that he needed Belichick, to make him great. And I'm going to say, I'm man enough to say, I think I was wrong. He has definitely, Belichick is not, coaching now. Tom Brady is still playing. He's playing in the Super Bowl. He has been making passes. He's been putting, for everybody who talked about his arm strength, I mean, for crying out loud, this guy, I mean, he had so much mustard on the ball today that it went through the hands of not only Mike Evans, but Tyler Johnson. Yeah. They should have caught
a lot of drops.
Yeah, those were bullets, though, that he threw. But he still is throwing touch. And I tell you, his touch is so good. But that didn't come out right. That
Chief, I know what you're thinking about. You're thinking about
I wish that this was live that we could
in the first quarter. Do you remember that floater to Mike Evans? I think it was Mike Evans in the first quarter.
Yes.
He threw a floater as pretty much a touch pass on third down. But that's what you're talking about.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Thank you for bailing me out.
Yeah. So here's the thing I see. I'm going to put my business hat on for just a minute, okay? Leadership is influence, nothing less, nothing more. And right now, I think you're seeing Tom Brady show up as a leader in that locker room. He has them all feeling like they're Pro Bowlers every single game. And I think that's the confidence, because let's be honest, this team, other than getting a new quarterback, we had Gronk is here, but we had a great tight end in O.J. Howard, who unfortunately has been hurt all season. Two great tight ends, you're right. We didn't necessarily need Gronk. And all we really did was make a quarterback change. And here we are going to the Super Bowl. And I just think the confidence, you can see it starting to build. These guys, Tom Brady has these guys in the locker room believing that they should win every single game. and that they're all absolute rock stars. And I think they're all showing up. I mean, like that run that Fournette had was ridiculous.
The one he
that
scored
is
on.
a guy who says, I want to play in the Super Bowl in 2 weeks, and nothing will stop me. That was an incredible run.
Yeah, it's almost as if those first few weeks when they were still learning each other and learning how to, format the offense, it was almost like they were enamored with Tom, who, by all rights, I mean, he's the greatest player of your generation, right?
Yeah.
And he comes in, now he's in your locker room. You want his autograph. You want to pick his brain. You want to know exactly what he does, how he prepares, how he, goes about his business. After that, after those 6 to 8 weeks of learning that, because remember, there was no training camp. So there was no time preseason for them to go through that and say, teach me, sir.
That's true.
So then you had that time period where they did, or they started to learn. And so after that, it just kind of steamrolled. But you're right. Even Michael Strahan said that in the pregame, that that is essentially the only difference between the team you're seeing today, the team you saw last week, was Jameis Winston was the chief, the leader on this team. He was the captain of this team. And he just wasn't getting it done. He didn't have those.
And by the way, was a pretty decent captain. I mean, he was a great locker room guy.
He's a fantastic cheerleader.
Yeah, I think he did a great job in that respect. And listen, we talked about this today. Is had he only thrown 15 interceptions instead of 30 last year, he would have been our starting quarterback this year.
Right.
Yes. So I'll tell you something that I believe Tom Brady brought to this team. I think Pooper kind of hit around it. It wasn't just the talent that he has, but it's in the discipline, it's in the practice, it's in the preparation for the game. And in the National Football League, it's not just enough to be fast and to be strong. You've got to do it all right. You have to be fundamentally right. You have to dot your I's, cross your T's. And we've seen that with a dramatic decrease in penalties. For example, Donovan Smith. Donovan Smith was good for at least 2 false starts a game last year.
Yeah.
Okay. This year, early on, he had a couple. And I'm going to tell you, I honestly believe that Tom Brady went up to him and said, listen, we can't win if we're always at 1st and 15. We need you to pay attention. And whatever that is, that's what he brought to the team was a higher level of professionalism that we didn't have before. And again, you do see that with things like Fournette saying, you can't tackle me, making those great runs. And, guys out there, receivers blocking on plays. So, yeah.
It's a huge difference.
It's contagious. It honestly is contagious.
You're absolutely right, Chief. It is contagious. Yeah. It is contagious. Wow.
I'm sorry. I'm watching the Chiefs and Bills game, and I, as a fan, I don't want any part of the Chiefs. This is
well, we had them already once, and it didn't go so well. What's going on there now?
Go ahead, Pooh Bear.
No, they just ran a little trick end around for about 80 yards. It's just like, good gravy.
Oh,
and that wasn't
80.
even, and it wasn't even Tyreek Hill. It was 17. I don't know who this is.
Some guy. Just some guy. I don't know. But I will say this. I mean, listen, New Orleans beat us twice. I know we beat Green Bay. They came to Tampa and played us. They were 5-0 at the time.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers had his worst game of the year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what did they say? They should have stat today that he'd thrown 3 interceptions against the Buccaneers this season,
right? And
3 interceptions against the rest of the whole NFL.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, the Packers only lost 4 games this entire season. 4. 2 of them were against Tampa. Yeah. I mean, that's a good football team.
Yeah.
So
and we beat the number 1 and the number 2 seed in the NFC to get here.
We're number 1 now. So
number 1 seed in the NFC.
Did you know somebody who was actually at the game today in Green Bay?
Oh my gosh! So my brother-in-law, has a friend that lives in Green Bay, offers him tickets, and so the guy he flies up there, and so I don't talk to him while he's during the game. I call him afterwards, and I said, "Dude, tell me what's going on." He goes, "Dude, these guys are miserable. They are angry at everything." And I said, "Well, how are they treating?" I said, "Tell me you're wearing Buccaneers gear." I mean, that's got to be a hostile environment. Lambeau Field, you're wearing Buck. He goes, I am head to toe Buccaneers. And I said, all right, man. So how are they treating you? He goes, honestly, not too bad. I got a couple of fingers. I got a couple of bad looks, And I said, all you got to do is point to the scoreboard, my man. Just point to the scoreboard. At that point, you don't have to say a word. So,
wow.
Those are fans.
I knew a guy that's at the game as well, and he was posting on his social media accounts that before the game, they were going around the cars in the parking lot. Obviously it was snowing. They were all frosted over. They were going around cleaning off people's windshields, but they were also writing "Go Bucks" with their scrapers.
Oh, wow.
On the hood. Yeah. It's like it's a nice thing to do, but you're also
you're definitely screwing them.
There's not going to be any of that cold stuff here in 2 weeks.
No, it's going to be gorgeous. It'll probably be 75 degrees.
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely beautiful. So, hey, the main event, is the main event going to the Super Bowl? I know we're not going to like the game unless one of us wins Powerball or something, but I think it's time to take this thing on location.
Oh, it definitely is. Well, we tried that with the Christmas parade. That didn't go so well.
Well, we didn't have a lot of preparation time for that either. I think we're going to be all right on this one.
But we could definitely absolutely record at this, during the Super Bowl, during some festivities. We're going to be in it, in the thick of it. This is our town. This is our team. You can count on this show, this channel, to be your inside track to all of the nonsense.
Man, this is going to be fun.
We've had the Super Bowl here before. I've checked it out, and the fun thing about the Super Bowl is there's stuff to do around it. There's the NFL experience, where you're running through the tackling dummies, you're catching balls through, that the machine throws at you. There's a long snap. You can run a route and you catch a route. And I think we need to do that sort of stuff and film ourselves doing it. Who catches the ball? Who doesn't catch the ball?
People want to see that.
I think we know the answer to those questions already. Don't we? I mean, we know the answer to those questions.
I know who's going to make the best long snap.
Yeah, we've got some comments I've been ignoring. I didn't even really see them. I'm sorry. Let's see. Ron Lovell says, Coach Muckenfoos, by the way, 76 rushing yards and 280 passing. We got John Jones coming in.
Hey, maybe just a beard. Just a beard.
B-Love's got some work to do, evidently.
Hey, listen. Okay, so here's the deal. I just lost an earpiece. Here's the deal.
Justin chiming in with some prices for Super Bowl tickets. Thanks, Justin. That's a little bit out of my price
Justin,
range.
I'm going to need to finance those, man. You got any way to finance those? Justin's a banker. Hey, I will show up at the Chiefs' house for Super Bowl Sunday. I will dye the beard red.
All right. We heard it right there.
I'm going to say no on that. Number one, I don't want to see your disgusting red beard. Number two, it feels like you're breaking, protocol here. That seems like it's out of something we've never done before. I would like for my team to win the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Not just get there.
So you think that's going to jinx it? He does something different?
I don't know. I'm just saying. It's kind of like eating dessert before halftime.
What you're saying is still no dessert until halftime.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Listen, for those of you that have never had a Super Bowl or a football event with us, there's a lot of rules.
There's a lot of rules. We stood up the entire fourth quarter. I don't think we sat down at all.
There's a lot of rules and guidelines. It's not easy to be a fan with us.
It's not easy to be our neighbor. If you're our neighbor, it's not easy.
Dude, the neighbor, that's tough because if you're not hearing us on or during a football game, you might be getting firework during the New Year's Eve.
Hey, at least Chef Javi's neighbors were able to come over today and partake with us.
Yeah, she was fun.
Justin says we're going for about $500,000 for a suite.
Wow.
I believe a suite does go for $500,000. I believe that. I do believe that.
Look at this. Look at this.
On location. Yeah, listen, John, the deal is if we win, we're all going in the pool.
There was two of us in the pool today. You will see that soon, probably coming this week. And hopefully for the Super Bowl, you'll see 6, 8, 10 guys jumping into a pool. TSG, you got your ears on? Can you hear us?
TSG got free breakfast this morning.
TSG is out of town. He's traveling, visiting family.
You know what?
There he is.
I don't know that we have
Yes.
TSG so
I'm
good.
in Boston, fellas. I'm up.
The former home of
I'm
Tom
in
Brady.
Boston, Mass.
Yes. And
Yes. And you know what? He's very loved here.
I would bet 6 Super Bowls
Can you hear
will
me
bring.
now?
I'm just looking for one.
yeah,
we
you
can
got any
hear
stats
you.
for us
They
today?
bought me some scrambled eggs.
I don't know that you can hear us.
You bought us some eggs.
Yeah.
He's on a big delay.
I can
Man,
hear you,
TSG,
fellas.
roll the
we're-
game footage.
We're gonna remove you just because the delay is so long.
Hey,
I
get
hate
a
to do
good
that.
connection, TSG.
Yeah, try a different connection. He's shaking his head no. Try a different connection.
All right, let's move
Right.
on. We've talked about football. We got other ground.
We can talk about this all day long, brother.
We have 2 weeks to talk about it.
Let's talk about something fun.
Yes.
So this week, our nation inaugurated a new president of the United States,
Number 46.
Yes.
number 46, and a guy who ran against him in the Democratic primary
Mm-hmm.
got more love.
Oh. You mean Bernie Sanders? Dude,
Bernie.
those memes are hilarious. Oh
I
my
can't get enough
gosh.
of them.
What's your favorite Bernie meme this week?
Oh.
Dude, my favorite has to be now. My wife and I are going through the series Schitt's Creek, and there's somebody posted a meme with the cast of Schitt's Creek with Bernie sitting amongst them, and it's just a riot because the show is so funny. You've come to know and love the characters, and then there's Bernie sitting right there in the middle of them. It was a riot. It was great.
Yeah.
Okay, so I had 2 that I really liked. The first one I saw today, it was a picture of Bernie Sanders. He was in Lambeau Field. He had a Bucs hat. He had a flag, Buccaneer flag. Said he was tailgating. I thought that one was really funny. But my favorite one was someone had taken Bernie and photoshopped him into a Where's Waldo, one of those hider things that they put. And so it's on Facebook, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, I don't think he's actually in there. So I look at the comments, and they're like, he's definitely in there, but they didn't tell me where. So I spent, 5-10 minutes, and I'm like, where's Bernie? I'm looking. Sure enough, there he was. He was hidden in one of those Where's Waldo type pictures, and it was funny.
That's
So
fantastic.
my favorite was if you guys, we talked last week on the show about a possible pardon for the Tiger King.
Yeah, didn't happen.
He did not get a pardon. But his attorneys had a limousine waiting outside of his prison. They were that confident he was going to get the pardon.
Yeah.
My favorite Bernie meme was Bernie sitting out there waiting for the Tiger King next to him.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Oh, that would have been awesome. Oh, wow.
I did not see that one.
Wow.
Oh man. But and here's my favorite part of that meme, or of the memes in general, the Bernie thing. First of all, Bernie's got a good attitude about it. He's not aggravated by it, whatever. But it's something that we can all laugh at, right?
Yes.
Left, right, centrist. It doesn't matter. It's not offensive to anybody. It's not hurting anybody's feelings. It's just something that's it's just funny, right? You see Bernie there. Who knows what he was doing before the picture was taken or while the picture was taken. Clearly there was social distancing happening. So, nobody was in his kind of area, but just his kind of sourpuss look and the mittens that the teacher made that are sold out now. She makes them and sells them and nobody can buy them now.
No kidding.
Yeah. So, but just the fact that it doesn't matter if you were a President Trump voter, if you supported President Biden, if you supported Bernie, all of us can laugh at that. And at this time in our nation, in our country, and what's going on, it's great that we can all get together and doesn't matter what your political affiliation, you can giggle at some silly Bernie meme.
Now,
That's what I like about it.
I don't know if this is true or not, but I saw a news report somewhere that Bernie had T-shirts and sweatshirts made of him, and they sold out in like minutes, and he donated all of the proceeds to something for feeding the homeless. So I don't know if that's legit or not, but if it is, that's a solid. I'm gonna give you that solid.
I did hear that he capitalized on making some T-shirts, which is kind of ironic for a socialist to capitalize on something. But
here we go.
Here nor there.
Help himself.
I just said it's a little ironic that he would do that. I mean, whatever. Maybe it was somebody in his camp. Who
All right,
knows?
not so funny going on with the inauguration this week. By the way,
Jesse says Bernie on a gurney.
that was a pretty funny one too. By the way, I was really, really disappointed about the Tiger King. I thought that he was really going to get pardoned. But anyways, here and there. Did you guys see the reports about the National Guard troops that were getting pulled out of National Guard duty because it was found that they had links to some not so great organizations? And it made me think to myself, like, did they not go through background checks before they joined the National Guard?
Well, they did. It's just that it didn't pass the social justice check, right? So, yes, they are clean citizens with no criminal background. They don't have any problems in their background check, but they may have been affiliated with some sort of militia group or something, which is widely popular in the North Midwest, right? So Michigan, Ohio, there's a lot of people that are part of these militias that are standing at the ready in case there is some sort of insurrection or, overtaking of the government, whatever. They're ready to go. So those are the types of guys that sign up for the National Guard. Those are the types of folks that were part of this. Matter of fact, I think it was an entire regiment that was asked to leave. Let's try TSG again. He's gonna give it a try.
There he is.
Fellas!
Hey,
That's better. That's a lot better.
Hey, it's what happens when you use a PC over Apple products.
Oh, whoa!
You and Pooh Bear are gonna fight.
Listen,
Tim-
I prefer Apple products always, but I tried it, and this is what happened.
Tim Cook's coming to your house, man.
Yeah. Hey, go Bucks! How about that, huh?
Let's go.
Hey,
We were
That's how we
definitely
opened the
on it,
show.
bro.
That's how we opened the show, my man.
My chest hurts.
I had my brother-in-law hitting the chest hard. I don't know if you guys saw that on the text.
Oh, absolutely, we saw it.
Yes, what a great game, huh? I know you guys want to probably already hit the game, so I know you want to move forward to like human interest stories or something else. So I'm here for you, whatever you want to do.
Sweet.
So we were talking about the National Guard guys that got kind of kicked out of the inauguration, but
Right.
let me just throw a spin on there, because I was actually in the Army. I was active duty Army. I was infantry, and we had a general that was addressing us during every payday. We'd have a parade, which was just a chance for the generals to come chit chat to us, while we stood there and had to listen. But but this one general was pretty specific. It was interesting because he said the job of the Army is to kill people and to break things. That's your job. That's the job. That's the job. The job of the Army is not to go around and vet people, to promote, to do some sort of security. So the reality of it is, unless these are military police, these guys are not trained to be doing law enforcement stuff. That's not their job.
Right.
Because I can tell you, my guys invaded Panama back in 1989. Now I had just gotten out right before they did that. My enlistment was over, but we were wound pretty tight before we went into that thing, and before these guys went in there, and that's what they need. If you're an Army, if you're gonna go to battle, that is your job. Your job is to either you kill other people or you die yourself. Because they get shots too. So really truly, calling out the National Guard is really a mistake, especially, if you're now, what, I did see something though. They were talking about these guys were armed, but yet I looked at the rifles and they did not have magazines in them. So I'm not exactly sure how armed they really were. I mean, an empty, maybe one round, or they had them. Maybe they had, they weren't allowed to load their, they weren't have to load the rifle. They had their magazines in their ammo pouch, and they couldn't load them. I don't know exactly, but they certainly weren't ready to fire.
Wow. And an unloaded weapon and a dull knife are two of the most dangerous things in the world.
Oh, how about it? Yeah.
I agree, Chief. I see what you're saying. These are total two different worlds. When you're talking about training a military to fight in possibly guerrilla warfare or out in the woods or the desert, whatever it might be, it's a totally different world than trying to come into our own civilization and our own city, and you're asking them to, enact in a scenario where they may have to, fire on our own citizens. It's not a job. It's a job for the police, for the sheriff, for the local for the local departments that should have planned for such an event, they're trained in interacting with our own type of citizens. We're trained totally different, like you just said, totally different to interact in a warfare against an entire different country, entire different type of citizens.
I never had 1 minute of training on how to restrain somebody. I had hours and hours of training on how to kill somebody and then move on and go kill the next guy.
It's not fair.
I mean, I understand why they were there. I just thought it was interesting that they're literally pulling guys out, based on some background checks they're doing, as if they should not have already cleared that before being handed a rifle in the National Guard. So,
well, like I said, they probably were. It was just these other affiliations that the certain segments of the government didn't like. Right. So these guys were vetted with no problems, but yet because they were affiliated with some sort of a militia group or what they deemed as a white supremacist group, they were pulled out.
And B-Love and Pooh Bear and Chief, to what you're saying, I listened to a chief of police for Washington say, shortly after some of this stuff was happening, we never expected this. I'm like, come on. Are you kidding me right now? You never expected to have this many people out there that had already showed, discontent or, some disagreement, and that's going to happen. It's your job to prepare and to expect this time. There was nothing. This is on the city and on the county, whoever is responsibility for that area as a local law enforcement to be prepared for this type of thing. And they pretended to be, like, oh my gosh, this is so surprising. I knew it. You guys knew it. We all knew it from Florida. We knew that there was, a potential disaster waiting to happen.
Well, let's just be thankful that nothing was needed. There was no problems on Inauguration Day, regardless of the Capitol insurrection. There was a peaceful transference of power, right, which was hailed as a benefit 4 years ago.
Yep, sure it was.
There's a lot of people saying, "Oh, well, there's a peaceful transfer of power. This is a great thing." I haven't heard anybody say that yet. Again, there was a riot, a insurrection 2 weeks prior. That was a problem, but with the amount of preparations that was done, it still went off without a hitch.
Yes.
All right, so let's talk a little bit of baseball here real quick. So this week, Blake Snell said that the Rays handed the World Series to the Dodgers. Did you guys catch that article by chance?
Sure did. And he can do that now that he's a San Diego Padre.
Exactly. Yep. He
wanted to say it when he was a Ray, but he was handcuffed.
I'm sure he wanted to say it that night. I said it that night.
Yeah, you did. I remember in the Arlington Hotel. You sure did.
No. How upset were we? Honestly, tell the fans this is how much we care about our Rays. We were so upset.
We were obviously there. We were at Game 6. I was losing my mind.
You definitely were losing your mind.
Yeah, I couldn't believe they were pulling the guy. I believed is at the level of play we were exhibiting to that point in the game, he was the only shot we had to give us a shot. Right? If he keeps us in the game, all we need is one long ball.
Yeah.
And anybody can hit that. Ask Dan Johnson.
True. I will maintain they still only had one run. You're not going to beat the Dodgers with one run, but whatever. It is what it is. It's over.
So Pooh Bear, I'm going to ask you this: if you were the coach of the Tampa Bay Rays, you're the head Pooh Bear. Okay. Do you pull them at that point, or do you let them hang a little while? What's your decision?
My baseball gut says that was his last game of the year. You throw him till his arm falls off.
Yes, until it falls off.
That's my baseball gut. But my ownership, the people that are signing my paycheck, said you pull him after the third time or before the third time through the order.
No. Listen, here's the deal, Pooh Bear. I understand your argument.
I'm fair. That's right. Pooh Bear, you're right. That is fair.
But my thing is they knew he wasn't going to be a Ray in the upcoming season at that game. Right?
Possibly.
So why not throw the guy's arm off?
Because their philosophy is what the numbers are telling them is that the third time through the lineup, the percentages go up. The batter averages for the opposing team go up. The guys are getting more hits. Third time through the lineup. It's indisputable. It is sabermetrics. It's out there. So their philosophy is bring in a different pitcher. And that's the same philosophy they used the entire season that got them to Game 6 of the World Series.
I get it. Go ahead.
I was the one talking B-Love down from the ledge, during the pitch and change. Of course, it didn't last for very long. But, I was okay with the pitching change then. It didn't work out for us. I understand all the reasons why that we did it, but let's talk about Blake Snell for him exactly. Blake Snell, cried at the beginning of the baseball season. He's crying again now. Adios, Blake Snell. I'm okay seeing him go. Here's the reality of Blake Snell. Okay, he had one phenomenal game this year. That was Game 6. Other than that, he was a good pitcher, not a fantastic pitcher, not the Cy Young winner that we had, 3 years ago. His ERA was, I think it was close to 4. Can't remember the rest of the stats off the top of my head. But let's face it, man. I think Blake Snell was a detriment in that locker room. I think he was a cancer. I'm okay seeing him go. Let's bring somebody in. So maybe I don't know how they're actually going to fill this, but the Rays have always been able to bring up young talent and somehow make it work. And I have to have faith that it's going to be okay again.
I'm not worried about that. I just find it interesting that the guy's 2 days out of, Tampa, and first opportunity somebody puts a microphone in front of him, he's basically saying, hey, I was the only chance this team had in Game 6. And
I'm sorry about, you're the only, he's the only guy. He's the only guy that could have won that game. If we had bats in the game, there were other guys that, throw the ball. I don't believe that for a second, that he is the reason by pulling him, that he's the reason we lost.
So
I don't believe that.
B-Love, I'm with you on this one. I know that, I'll tell you this. When I go to Vegas, I play roulette, right? And I have a chief, that John Perkins, a really smart guy.
Mm-hmm.
Him and I looked over the rules and we looked over the percentages. And John Perkins is an engineer. He's a big numbers guy. Mm-hmm. And he told me, he goes, the same number is when you spin that wheel on a roulette table, it's this percentage every single time that you could possibly lose or win, right? But what you don't realize is and what a lot of the engineers don't take into effect is when I'm there and I see that there's 9 blacks in a row and I start betting on reds, whether you like it or not, I've almost never seen. You almost never see the reds or the blacks go past 9 in a row, 10 in a row. So if you start betting the other way, the likelihood that you're going to win. I've made thousands of dollars on this. I really have, and so did Perkins, and Vaden Webb, who had no idea what was going on the entire time we were there. He's just like handing us money. We made him so much money. So, but the books and the numbers will tell you that every time you spin, it's always a 47% chance that you're gonna lose, and you're gonna lose to the house. But when you watch 10 reds in a row or 10 blacks in a row and you bet the other way, you get 5 chances and $315, and I can win almost every time. So all I'm saying is that when you see Blake Snell ripping it for that many innings, and he's still ripping it, but their numbers over a long period of time show you a certain percentage. It does. I get it. But in the short percentage of time, you have to look at it sometimes as a manager, sometimes as an old school guy, and say, this guy's burning it up. Let's take a shot on him. But you know what? That's Monday quarterback in the whole situation. It's really tough to call. It's very depressing for us as a Man of Van Crew who flew all the way out there, and we saw.
It was still a great time.
It was so much fun.
A great time. I'll never regret that trip ever. Sitting right.
The Rays.
Right there is the ball that I have.
The Tampa Bay Rays
with everybody's signature on it.
Mine's right here.
Hold on.
Chef Hobby says it was a great time to get rid of Snell.
Yes.
Signed by the 4 most famous people I know right there.
Yep.
There you go.
Hobby, I plan to come to your place. I swear, I promise. I'm
Listen,
up
he was
Let me ask
TSG.
you
He
guys-
was genuinely offended you weren't there today.
Yeah, he was. He said you're not invited next time. All right, so guys, let me ask you a question. Has anybody ever been stranded in the airport overnight?
Yes.
No, longest
Almost.
layover I've had was eight hours on my honeymoon.
Okay, so
That's
Chief,
unlucky.
you've been stranded overnight. TSG, did you say you've been stranded overnight?
Babe, we were there until we got a hotel. They gave us a hotel eventually.
Okay.
So yes, we're stranded in the city. We couldn't fly out that we should have flew out of. They gave us a hotel though.
Having been stranded in an airport overnight, do you think you could live there for 3 months?
No.
No.
So did you guys see the report this week of the guy who got caught having lived in the Chicago airport for 3 months?
Dude, so
No.
many questions. I have so many questions about
All right,
this.
well, come on, bring him, Chief. Bring him.
Okay, the first one.
Is he the brother of the guy that lived in the stadium that we were at for baseball? Right? Okay. I'm just saying.
Okay, first question is, dude, where do you shower? Second question, where do you get underwear from? I mean, you might be able to buy underwear, but it's super expensive to buy it at the airport. Number three, where do you get the money to buy the stuff at the airport? Have you ever tried to eat at the airport? Super expensive. This guy doesn't have a job, does he? I have slept on the floor of the airport, which is really disgusting when you think about the number of people that are walking by. Where is that cat sleeping at? Because every one of those seats is like a contoured seat. It's not a bench or a couch, So is he on the floor? Nobody sees this guy sleep on the floor. I have no idea.
First of all, I know every time I've ever been in an airport with the Chief, his first question is, "Where is Chick-fil-A?"
Yes.
Well, that's because that's where the chicken biscuits live. I mean,
That's what I said to my wife this morning when we got to the airport. I go, "There's a Chick-fil-A, buddy. Honey, I promise there's a Chick-fil-A
it's
in there."
closed on Sunday, my man.
And there
Yeah,
wasn't one there. And there wasn't one there. And she's like, "I'm so disappointed in you and your whole affiliation of people that tell you
I
this."
agree.
Well, here's what I do know. I know that Chief does not fly in the same class that I fly in because when I fly, all those amenities are available to me. The lounge,
Well, sorry.
the shower. I'm just going to put it out there. There's these executive clubs that have these types of facilities in them. You can take a nap. You can have free coffee. You can have a shower. You can get your shoes shined. Matter of fact, there's which hotel was this guy got stranded in, remember?
It was Chicago Airport.
Chicago.
O'Hare.
Chicago, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So which is one of the top, 4 or 5 largest and most active airports in at least in the United States. There is an airport in, I believe it's in Singapore, one of the most elaborate. It has a swimming pool. It has gyms. It is a well appointed airport. And there's a couple of YouTubers that actually spent a week there intentionally. Like their whole goal, they didn't have a ticket for anything other than getting into the airport to swim in the swimming pool and just kind of philander around. It's actually a pretty entertaining video if you want to look it up, but just look up Singapore.
Yeah, but this guy's not in Singapore. He's in O'Hare. Even if he's got the pass to, the La-Di-Da Club, apparently.
The Executive Diamond Club.
Okay, the Executive Diamond. Okay, don't you think at some point somebody's going to be like, I think I've seen this guy before, And I mean, after 90 days, that's when they finally are like, dude, when is your flight?
I don't understand the legality issue with it, right? What is the problem?
Why would you kick the guy out? It's a public place.
Right.
I don't think it's a public. It's a private place. It's not a public building.
I checked into the hotel at Boston and told them I was with the main event, and they were like, "Oh, is Pooh Bear going to jump? Is Pooh Bear going to jump in the pool like he did in the video we saw?" And I was like, "Yeah." So, and I was like,
I'm guessing the pools in Boston are probably a little more frozen than mine, like literally frozen. As my fat butt's not going to make it to the ice layer.
So, if Pooh Bear would have jumped in the pool in Boston, here's what I would have heard: "Medic!"
Yes,
yeah,
medic.
We've got a broken spine and several broken fibulas.
Hey, listen, not for nothing though, dude. I did jump, across the water of Javi's pool.
No, you didn't.
I've been threatening to do that at the Chiefs pool, but today I successfully made the jump.
No, you stepped over the corner. like anyone does, getting around the outdoor kitchen area there. So just so you know, TSG, Javi went in like a real man and a real homeowner. I also went in just because, this is what you do.
Javi jumped in?
Javi jumped in.
Yes.
So,
there's video. There's video.
Where's the video?
It's coming. It's forthcoming. But let this be your warning.
Yes.
In 2 weeks, you will be expected to jump into the Chiefs pool.
Okay. All right. I'm in.
Hey, the good news, Chief, is you have plenty of time to heat that thing.
As long as I get
your heater broke. Your heater broke. The heater got fixed this week. Give a shout out to Mike's Pools for coming by and hooking me up.
Not a sponsor, but could be.
On YouTube, they allowed the video to continue. They shut us down, but then all of a sudden they allowed it to play. I don't know what's going on.
They recognize talent. All right, so listen, I'm gonna throw out some controversy here. Okay. Did you guys see this week that the Lions desire to trade Matthew Stafford?
Yeah.
I heard it differently. I heard that Matthew Stafford asked to be traded and the Lions agreed.
Okay. So either way, I'm going to try to keep you guys centered here. Good or bad move by Detroit?
I'm going to say good move just because maybe it is time to move on. I think Matthew Stafford has been a terrific quarterback throughout his time in Detroit. He's put up the numbers. They have not built a team around him. I do believe that if he went to another team, a playoff-ready team, he might be successful. A team like maybe a Miami,
New England,
that team, potentially like New England, absolutely, that'd be a great fit for him. Good call. Maybe San Diego just got a good new quarterback. Maybe San Francisco, right? Who might want to move on from Jimmy Garoppolo, who was in the Super Bowl last year. So the Eagles, right? They're wanting to move on. So go ahead, TSG.
No, I'm with you, Pooh Bear, on that. It's a win-win, I think, for both. It's not a win-lose. I think for the organization, they get some new blood in there, and they get an environment where a coach can make decisions and people follow it. So when you get a young quarterback in there who maybe has some talent, everyone's kind of just listening to the coach and they're following forward with the plan. A guy like him, he's kind of like can be the guy that's from the old regime who maybe doesn't follow along, so people listen to him because he has credibility. He's a great quarterback. But if he moves on, right, and he goes to somewhere, any of the teams that you just said, Pooh Bear, and they start to have success because he's intelligent, he's a very talented quarterback. He can do a lot of things. I think he's got 2 or 3 years maybe left in his arm and in his brain and his blood. Do some great things for him. But at the same time, it's a win-win. If the Detroit goes on to another quarterback, the new coach or the coaching in play right now, they can move forward and maybe do some great things.
Okay, so the Lions, let me start with Matthew Stafford is a good quarterback. He is an NFL starting quarterback, always has been, and he should be. The Lions are a bad football team. They're a bad organization. They're mismanaged. They're miscoached, blah, blah, blah. So from a Matthew Stafford standpoint, I think he needs to go if he wants to be successful somewhere else. The problem is, here's the problem, guys. The number one landing spot for Matthew Stafford right now are the Panthers.
Yeah.
That means that we will be facing Matthew Stafford 2 times a year. So with Teddy Bridgewater as a backup, for at least 1 year.
Over Teddy? You think they would throw him to the back?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Matthew Stafford's a better quarterback than Teddy
Where the
Bridgewater.
controversy comes, okay? Our quarterback is 43 years old.
Oh,
if he wins the Super Bowl, what does he do?
Hear me out for a minute, okay? Our quarterback is 43 years old. We knew signing him here to a 2-year deal, we did not have a backup plan.
Correct.
What do you guys feel about Matthew Stafford coming to the Bucs?
As a backup, sure.
No, I mean we're putting a Band-Aid on a problem. This is our chance to draft a quarterback. I know we're going to be either
31st.
Let's hope that exactly. Let's hope we're the 31st pick in the draft this year. There is still a quality quarterback available who can spend a year watching Tom Brady and see how Tom Brady does it. And if you get to do that as a quarterback, and if you're willing to learn from the GOAT, not the Billy Goat, but the GOAT, you can have a great year, a great career.
Question for you, Chief. if Tom Brady wins the Super Bowl this year, I didn't say he's going to, so there's no bad luck here. Still knocking on wood. If he wins, do you think he stays?
So obviously not friends with Tom Brady yet, but I have hung out by his back door
to interview him before the Super Bowl.
Tom Brady said he's going to play next year. Whether that actually comes true or not, but I'm just going to go on the assumption that he is.
So Javi just came in with what I think is the absolute best landing spot for Matthew Stafford, and that would be the Indianapolis Colts. They just lost Phillip Rivers to retirement. They are a playoff ready team.
Great defense.
They were in the playoffs. Let's put it that way. They were in the playoffs. They just lost to a better team in the Bills. So hey, I'm all for it. Let's see Matthew Stafford lead the Colts. I think that is a good landing spot for him. And it fits all the things we were just talking about as far as a fresh start for him, fresh start for the Lions, who never seem to get a fresh start. They just keep restarting and sputtering.
Right, so you guys are against bringing him to Tampa to tutelage under Tom for a season.
Yes.
Because
then what do you get? So now you've got a 3-year problem. So let's say Brady's done after next year. Then you've got Stafford for a year after that, who at this point is in his 15th year or so.
He's 33.
Okay, so he's physically and probably mentally done at that point. Now what do? You still have a quarterback problem. They need to keep Tom Brady going. This coming draft, just like Chief said, find a quarterback in the draft that you can bring along over the next 2 years with the offense that you've already got in place. Keep things going the way it's going, and you'll have a success in under that quarterback when time comes.
If Tom wins this year, I say he retires. He's proved.
I bet he doesn't.
He proves.
I bet he doesn't. I bet he doesn't because he's not about proving points. He's about getting all the records. He wants them all of them.
He's got them all. Drew Brees.
Not yet.
Tom Brady's a competitor. He likes to play. We have a great offensive line. They have kept him off the ground. He will come back and play.
It's all about pliability.
I agree.
I caught you on that, Pooh Bear. You're right. It's about pliability. If they
win the Super Bowl, I still believe Tom Brady's the starting quarterback in the next season.
I do too. I don't think he retires yet.
Hey, I want to come back.
Gronk will be here or Antonio Brown, but
lose.
Hey,
Tom Brady.
You know what?
I think Gronk will be here. Actually, I think they'll re-sign Gronk and Antonio Brown.
That's a good point.
Both of them want to be here. Both of them want to be here. They're going to have cap-friendly contracts because we don't have cap room.
That's the thing. Antonio Brown has proven himself to be a teammate. He's still got wheels. He's still got hands. Antonio Brown is going to be able to – he's going to get a Super Bowl ring, I think another Super Bowl ring, actually. Yes. And then he's gonna go on and make more money.
Plus, he needs a place to live.
First of all,
yeah.
How about Scotty Miller?
Yeah, because he's living with Brady now.
Hey, in your honor, TSG, when Scotty Miller caused that touchdown, I said he always wins his matchups.
Always
just
wins
for you.
Yes. and you know what though? But Chief and Poop and B Love have a point, and that is commitment to your friends, right? And he's made a commitment to Gronk. Gronk's coming back, and he's already said that. So you know what? Now that you say that, the fact that Gronk and AB have been like, hey, we're dependent on you. He's probably going to come back just for them. Period.
Yeah. All right.
So Bobby said he wants to fill all of his fingers with rings.
Yeah. So we got to wind this thing down here, guys. We only have like a couple of minutes here. Here's the thing. This is legit. I'm putting this out into the universe. There's got to be a way. If you are an earshot of this show, you're watching this show right now, you want us on Radio Row.
Yes. I want Chief out on the streets.
On Radio Row for the Super Bowl. We are looking for an opportunity. Just one day. We don't need to be out there all week. We're looking for an opportunity for one day on Radio Row.
Yep.
And or an opportunity at the press day.
That's it. Hey, we've got all of our own equipment. All we need is the credentials. We'll take care of the rest of it.
So if you are an earshot and you can help us find this opportunity, we will make sure you get an authentic Man Event T-shirt.
Oh yeah.
Ooh,
Hey,
what a prize!
I'm going to tell you this,
And
fellas.
we'll sign it. We'll sign the back of it for you.
If any network needs any proof, go back and watch our golf cart parade episode. Okay.
Oh, boy.
And
No, we don't do it.
listen. I know it was rough, right? But just go to the part where Chief was out there on the road, man, interviewing people, and that's all you need to know, man. He's got the skills, he's got the talent. We'll sit back here and then direct him, but he's got it, man. I'm telling you.
All right, Pooh Bear. Our
That's
voices
it.
made it. Our voices
Ladies
made
and
it.
gentlemen, we
Take
did
us
make
home.
it. It is unreal. We are beside ourselves. We are left without words. We are so excited for our team going to the Super Bowl. What we need for you to do right now is mask up like TSG. Subscribe to this channel. Click the bell icon below this video. That is going to let you know every time we post a video. There are going to be a number of videos coming at you in the next couple of weeks. You do not want to miss this. Our Buccaneers are going for glory. We want the Lombardi Trophy back in Tampa at One Buccaneer Place on Hillsborough Avenue. Let's do this. Thank you all for sticking around. Thank you, Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. We will see you next week. Woo! Let's go!